Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Portraits in Piano. Last week we talked about Bela Bartok. The week before that we talked about Beethoven. And this week we have a very special guest for you. So won't you come with me on this journey? Let's go. The Panic of 1873 sent America spiraling into its first major economic recession, after setbacks in the American railroad business and the American Indian Wars, which created much tension between the settlers of America and its native peoples. Ulysses S. Grant was sworn in as President of the United States for the second time. In music, Charles Ives's Symphony No. 1, decidedly tonal, was eminent, pointing towards sounds of a new era. Across the Pacific, Japan adopted the Gregorian calendar, which further solidified its disinterest in the Chinese way of life. In Russia, the city of Khiva fell to Imperial Russian forces, under the command of General Konstantin von Kaufmann. Soon, the Bolsheviks would slaughter the imperial royal family, leading to the Soviet Union, a tyrannical radical government installment of the 1920s. World events seemed too much to handle, yet this year in 1873, a rare talent was born. Sergei Rachmaninoff was born in 1873 to an aristocrat. Sergei was the fourth child in a brood of 3 sons and 3 daughters. As a young man, he attended the Moscow Conservatory and shortly after toured America for the first time. After some time and negative reactions to his compositions, his family left Russia and settled in New York. Near the end of his life, he relocated to Beverly Hills, California, where he died. Rachmaninoff's grandmother had an affinity for the Russian Orthodox Church. She insisted Sergei have a proper upbringing. It was in the church that Rachmaninoff experienced church bells and other liturgical works, which would later inspire some of his compositions. In 1885, Rachmaninoff lost one of his sisters, who was of importance to his love for Tchaikovsky. Due to bouts with depression, especially after the death of Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff had a troubled career in Russia. He suffered from bouts of writer's block, but agreed to counseling, which allowed him to still produce some of classical music's greatest masterpieces. In 1905, political unrest struck Russia, and some years later, around 1917, he relocated to New York. It was between 1903 and 1917 when Rachmaninoff wrote his Preludes. He was a remarkable artist, a composer, a pianist, and a conductor phenomenally gifted in all 3 professions. Jeffrey Norris, 1993. Rachmaninoff, perhaps the little Stravinsky, gave the world 45 unique compositions, though Stravinsky had only ego with which to describe his Russian contemporary. His last works, of which there are only 6, included his Rhapsody on a theme of Paganini, Symphony No. 3, and his symphonic dances. His Prelude in D major, written in 1903, reminds us of Rachmaninoff's fascination with bells. As we listen, we hear a delicate interplay between duple and triple rhythm, a simple complexity that, when wrapped up in the piece's harmonies, may easily be missed. A cacophony of tones, both dissonant and consonant, remind us of Rachmaninoff's troubled life, and yet still we remember in his own words that music is enough for a lifetime, but a lifetime is not enough for music. Perhaps this was Rachmaninoff's answer to a troubled world in the distant conversation of church bells.